Hello everyone, my name is Sri Pallavi and I am from ECE department of NIT Andhra Pradesh, and today's topic is about optimization techniques for IoT using adaptive clustering. And the topics that are to be discussed in this PPT are introduction about wireless sensor networking and IoT, and what are the objective functions and its constraints of the given real-time problem, and low energy adaptive clustering hierarchy protocol, that's mobile leach, and the results after using the mobile leach technique. Introduction. The the vision of Internet of Things can be achieved with the help of wireless sensor networking. Basically, this wireless sensor networking introduces a virtual layer which enables the system to read the data through it. And in this wireless sensor networking, the sensor nodes are randomly spread across the network in a very large quantities ranging from hundreds to thousands. Hence, it takes high amount of energy to communicate through each nodes. So, cluster-based routing schemes which decreases the energy consumption and increases the data aggregation efficiency. So, leach technique is one of the optimized strategies that can be used for better cluster head. Now, objective function and constraints. The main objective function of this real-time problem is to minimize the energy consumption of the nodes, and the constraint is to choose the optimized path to find the cluster head. This can be achieved by increasing the iterations. We can make the cluster head, that is by decreasing the sensor nodes and dead nodes. We can make it possible. Genetic algorithm will be used to update the population, and the fitness of the current revised population is measured and compared to the fitness of the original population. By this, the number of dead nodes increases as the number of iterations increasing, and the process repeats until the current population's fitness is greater than that of original population, so that the energy of the nodes will be decreased. Now, leach technique. What is leach technique? Low energy adaptive clustering hierarchy protocol. Leach is a hierarchy protocol in which most nodes transmit the data to the cluster head, and the cluster head will communicate with the other nodes. Directly, the base station does not communicate through the nodes. Base station communicates through the cluster head, and the cluster head shares the data to nodes. Each node uses an algorithm to each round to determine whether it will become a cluster head or not in a particular round. There will be p rounds, and each node has a 1 by p probability of becoming a cluster head in each round. The nodes does not communicate with each other. They just communicate with cluster heads. They use the minimum energy needed to reach the cluster head. Now, Mobile Leach is a wireless sensor networking protocol that provides a flexible routing methods to deal with the cluster head section. Here, the equation is given for energy transmitted and the energy received. L and D are the variables. L is the length and D is the distance between the cluster head and the base station. L is the distance between the cluster head and the particular node. The main concept of mobile leach is to check whether a mobile node can communicate with specified cluster head or not. For this, the genetic algorithm based adaptive clustering with leach, mobile leach are used, and the steps for implementation of this is initially they will take few parameters, and then they will allot the energy for those parameters, and the initial population of cluster head selection is generated. Then the fitness function is evaluated. Fitness function is evaluated based on the three parameters. The first parameter is the average distance between the cluster head and the base station, and the second parameter is the participation of percentage of participation of cluster heads, and third parameter is the total number of participations in the transmission process. Few might not have And in the transmission process, only the nodes that are taking part in transmission process will be counted. And now the results, basically, as the number of iterations are increasing, the number of dead nodes will be increased and number of alive nodes will be decreased. As you can see here, they took 7 iterations, and as the 7th iteration comes, the number of dead nodes are keep increasing, are really very high when compared to the number of alive nodes. There are no alive nodes. By using the MATLAB tool, we can plot a cluster head of a cluster. The green dot is the cluster head and the basic blue dots are the nodes that are present in that clusters. Now, conclusion. Many works have been done to improve constraints in wireless sensor networking, especially to increase the energy and memory and speed. Among all of those, mobile leach protocol is one of the most eminent technique. The result shows that adaptive clustering in LEACH-M with genetic algorithm reduces the energy consumption by the nodes in the network as compared to LEACH. These are the references, and thank you.